Hey guys, it's Mike with Victor Bravo. Today we are here talking about things to consider before selling your house. And there's a lot of stuff to go over. We're going to try to do this for maybe, 20, 25 minutes. If you guys have any questions or anything that you guys want to add into it, feel free to drop a message. Sean will let us know and we'll try to address it. I think Alex is viewing right now from the beautiful beaches of Puerto Rico, so he might be checking in as well. But for starters, we have a list of items, and I actually went online. This was on Realtor.com. Zillow had one as well. A checklist for what sellers need to do to get ready to sell their house on the retail market. I don't know if you guys can see all of this. It is 8 pages worth of things between cleaning, dusting, making your home feel and smell clean, getting your financials in order, talking to a listing agent, talking to a mortgage company if you're moving. There are so many different things that you need to do in order to get your house ready for sale. And it's not as easy as calling an agent and saying, "Hey, I'm ready to sell my property." So I think number one for me is the financials. I think you need to get a good understanding as to how much you owe on your property still. If you have an outstanding deed of trust, um, if your taxes are up to date, utilities up to date, you need to get a good idea of to what your financials are, because at the end of the day, and we do see this a lot. We're we're actually experiencing this right now, in which a listed property on the MLS was listed for $200,000. The house gets put under contract, and come to find out, a couple weeks later, there is a second deed of trust on the property that the seller did not know about. Now, we're in an era right now because of COVID. There's a lot of forbearances out there right now. We're going to start to see this a lot more. So it's very, very important that you understand different situations that you might get yourself in if you're under a forbearance. Some of these loan modifications don't just adapt into your existing loan, they actually tack on to the back of the loan, almost as like a silent mortgage, as I had a expert fill me in on. So this seller had no idea that this $25,000 second mortgage attached itself to the property. This property is not able to close the traditional way. We did find a way forward for this individual, and we're moving forward. But understanding your financials as to what you owe on your property is a great way to start. That way, you know what you can list it for. And if you're in a situation where you might be upside down, at least have an understanding as to how much you might need to bring to the table if your house sells for X amount of dollars. I think the second thing you need to do is you need to contact a market professional. Okay. Whether that is a real estate agent if you want to sell it retail, whether it is a trusted home buyer like Victor Bravo, we would love to talk to you. You need to get a good understanding as to what the value of your home is. We see it a lot as well, that a lot of sellers think their house is worth something out of their opinion. And as much as we respect everybody's opinion, the market dictates what your property can potentially sell for. So just because you're in a good neighborhood, if your house hasn't been updated in the last 10, 15, 20 years, and there's a house down the street that is a brand new remodel selling for, let's say 300,000, sorry to say it, but your house more than likely is not worth $300,000. And speaking with a local market professional in your area, whether that is a top real estate agent in the area, whether you yourself have a good understanding as to what the local market is, or once again, a local, home buyer, um, it'll give you a better understanding as to what the value could truly be for your property. Okay. Um, the next thing is to get your house ready. And this really comes into play when you're talking about the real estate retail market. So, this is when you're dealing with a listed property in Maryland, it's MLS, or you're dealing with a real estate agent. getting your house ready. Okay. If you're going to sell this thing on the retail market, you need to understand that you're going to have retail home buyers coming through your property. It's not going to be a situation where there's going to be, a real estate investor that is used to properties in deferred maintenance condition that understands the cost of construction and what needs to, potentially happen with the property. You're going to be dealing with first time home buyers. You're going to be dealing with, more importantly, the first time home buyers' parents that don't understand construction, but they've seen a couple home improvement shows and it makes them, professional contractors. We see that all the time as well. So preparing your house, and that is, hey, you might have to call a plumber to test all your systems out to make sure that your water heater's in working condition, to make sure none of your traps underneath your sink are leaking or deteriorating, to make sure your water pressure. This is something new that came up. A property down in Pasadena, it got flagged for low water pressure, and it resulted in having to replace the water service, installing a new check valve (PRV). It cost this person $4,500 that they weren't expecting. So, they're essentially expecting that when they were going to sell their property, and that, nearly $5,000 that might pop up at the end, it could hurt if you didn't start at step one and you didn't understand your financials. So, getting your house ready for the market, you might have to call that plumber. You might have to get an electrician out there, or maybe sell, or maybe start by calling a home inspector. I know a lot of real estate investors. I myself do this, where I will actually hire my own home inspector to come through and double check my work just to make sure we didn't miss anything. We want to put out the highest quality product that we possibly can, and having a third party, a third set of eyes, put their opinion as to what might be undone or what can be improved, could be a really good thing. You'll never imagine what can pop up in a home inspection report. I still get surprised to this day, and I am a contractor, as to what these home inspectors can find. So that might be a good tool and a resource to do, is calling a home inspector that you trust. Okay. What else do we got on here, Sean? Taxes, knowing your taxes. This is very important. So, hey, your next Rolodex item here is, you got to call your accountant. Hey, what kind of tax implications do I have for selling this property? Is this a rental property, not your primary residence? What kind of capital gains are you subject to? In the event of a loss, what taxes am I going to be able to write off against this loss? Understanding the tax implications of selling your property are absolutely, absolutely crucial. And then once again, getting professionals in your corner. And once again, I'm speaking specifically to retail sales, getting a professional in your corner. So once again, that is talking with your mortgage company, understanding your financials, calling an accountant, calling the home improvement professionals, a plumber, electrician, home inspector, to get your property ready for the sale, and then calling a market professional that's either going to be able to buy your property or sell your property. It's absolutely crucial, and you can't really forget any of these items, because if you are, you're not going to be prepared, and if a kink or a problem hit, you're not going to be prepared. Just as that one individual that had that surprise second mortgage pop up was. Um, there's always a way forward. So don't think, just because your property is upside down, and deal with this a lot with sellers. They're essentially scared to look at the balance sheet because they know how far out of whack their property is financially. Don't do that. Okay. If you're behind on taxes, try to stay up to date, and you can't pay them. Try to stay up to date and monitor, how much you owe. If you're behind on your mortgage, stay up to it. Okay. Try to reach out to your bank and try to negotiate with them. See if they'll be willing to work with you. If not, try to keep an accurate accounting as to, if I'm late on my payment, how much is this going to cost me per day that I'm late? And how much in penalties am I going to have to pay? So whether you're upside down or, just want to get a good accounting before you sell your property, Understanding the financials is absolutely crucial. Now, I'm looking at this checklist, and once again, this was from Redfin, Zillow, and all the other bigger box companies. Their recommendations are clean and replace all of the light switches in the property. Okay. Like grimy light switches. I mean, I know after, 20, 25 years, same thing with ceiling fans, accumulation of dust and grime can get on a lot of things, and that could turn home buyers off, especially on the retail market there. Um, Duct cleaning. I mean, this is absolutely crucial. This not only affects the smell of your home, but also the air quality in your home. You might want to pay somebody to come out and do some duct cleaning. Um, Make the property inviting. So we deal with this a lot where you will walk into a house and it is just from wall to wall stuff. You need to put your stuff away. Okay. Visually speaking, walk into a house, if it feels cramped or it feels boxy because there's just so many different items. Now, granted, that works for you, but it doesn't work for a lot of other people. Okay. It also comes down to painting. This is absolutely crucial. And I think the one of the bigger improvements you can do to your property is having a fresh paint job. The best thing to do is to go with a neutral color. Okay. If you are a Baltimore Ravens fan and you have your basement painted purple, black, and gold, might not be the best idea because it will not only make the space feel smaller, but hey, you might get somebody that does not care for the Ravens, or they're not able to visualize their basement furniture set because not, essentially made for a stadium or um, basement bar area. So trying to make it neutral to where everything can blend. And a lot of people say, "Oh, here's another house with gray walls." The idea behind the gray walls, I don't love gray walls. I actually hate the look of the gray. But when it comes to selling a home, gray walls are just so neutral to where you can have a black couch, a red couch, a white couch. Any of your furniture and decor can pretty much fit with a soft gray color scheme. So that's why we do it, because it is almost a universal color that is accepted by everybody because everybody can visualize their stuff with a gray set of walls and some nice white trim. So depersonalize your home and maybe look into doing a nice fresh paint job on the property. That could really affect what you can sell your property for, and more importantly, how fast you can sell your property. I can't stress this enough. When properties sit on the market, it is not a good thing. Okay. Especially in this market, when it gets to, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, when your property is within, 150,000 and 450,000, hey, red flags go up. What is wrong with this property? I know Aaron, one of our guys, he just sold his first property down in Pasadena. On the day before his property was listed, there was people driving the neighborhood going to look at another property, and they almost got into an accident. They jumped out of their car so quick saying, "Hey, is this house for sale?" Because it is so competitive. And if your house is still on the market after, let's just say 30 or 45 days, that leads me to believe that, hey, something's wrong with the house or the price is wrong. One of those two things. So, you know, making your house universal to everyone, decluttering, painting, making the house smell good. The aroma of the house can really affect whether, are you going to sell it for top dollar or, how long that property is going to sit on the market. So, these are very, very important things to consider. Number one, financials. Understand your financials. Number two, consult with a market professional. Number three, get your house ready with market professionals. So, once again, that plumber, that electrician, that painter. Um, Declutter your property, things you could do on your own. Declutter your property, landscaping, um, just downright cleaning, once again, wiping down your light switches, wiping down your ceiling fans that's accumulated dust over the last couple years. These are huge factors, even though they seem small. Hey, Mike, I'm supposed to sell my house a lot faster by wiping off the dust off the fan. Hey, yeah, 100%. You know, it affects the smell and just the overall appearance of the house. I mean, just walking into a property and you see a brand new light fixture, you know, your eyes get fixated to that light fixture. I mean, I always laugh about it. You know, we do such a nice job with backsplashes and hardwood floors. You know, I mean, we're putting in herringbone floors and we're putting some serious detail into the property. And at the end of the day, we get these agent remarks on the property that says clients love the light fixtures. So $100 light fixture off Amazon could really affect. I mean, that is what people are looking at. So yeah, if your ceiling fan has an inch of dust on it and it's from 1970, replace it or clean it. You know, do something like that. So, Sean, do we have anybody on here that's wanting to chime in? I think Brenton Hess, who is a market professional. Brenton, how you doing, man? If you're still here. So Brenton is actually an agent himself, and he's also a real estate investor. And you know, I bet he has a couple things to chime in on this. What's TikTok saying?
Something I'd like you to is when these people are going to sell their house, do they have a plan in place for somewhere to go? And because of how the market is right now, finding another house to buy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm not going to say any names, but we are dealing with several individuals right now um, that have this problem exactly. So they called us and hey, I want to sell my house. The numbers worked out. We were able to sign a contract, and the expectation was they had everything they needed in order to be able to move. Come to find out, they don't. We are on our second extension, and now we are actually taking it upon ourselves to try to find them some listings to either rent, get them in touch with mortgage lenders so they can buy. And had we known up front that this was going to be an issue, we could have worked from with them from day one. um, in this market today, even finding a rental property, it's scarce. There that we are at a total inventory crisis right now. You know, people are asking, "Hey, when's the market going to change? When's the market?" I don't see it going to happen. And that's just my opinion. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon because at the end of the day, if you were to look up a half a mile radius around your property, if you're not in like an inner city where it's so densely populated, you're in a, in a suburb, then a half a mile, I guarantee you there's probably less than 10 properties available for sale. Okay. And in that, there are thousands of people looking for a property in that zip code with that school district with that criteria. Okay. The competition is huge. And if you're not coming with the best offer, guess what? You're probably going to have to offer on properties probably 10, 12, 15 times before you might get a contract. um, so yeah, Sean, that is absolutely huge. You need to have a plan in place. And, for some people, and once again, I'm no accountant, I'm no financial advisor or anything, but you know, when I'm talking to people on the phone and they have the expectation that, hey, I want to sell my house. And then once I sell my house to you and I'm under contract, I'm going to be able to go look for properties and we're going to be able to do this in 30 or 45 days. I tell them right off the bat, 90 days. Let's at least set the expectation at 90 days. Let's beat the expectation. But to have an expectation that you're going to go out there and submit offers on properties and go under contract and close on a property in less than 45 days on the retail market, more than likely not going to happen unless you are, you know, cash heavy, putting a lot of money down, and you're paying a lot over asking price. So getting your plan in place, and hey, it doesn't have to just be buying a house. It could be, with renting a house. Maybe your strategy is to kind of wait out the buzz that's going around in the market and try to find a rental property before you may have to overpay for a property per se. That might be in your best option. Can I get into a 6 month or a 12-month lease and, just kind of wait out the storm to see what happens? As I was saying earlier about, all these forbearances out, we are going to be hit with an absolute wave of REOs, which are bank owned real estate properties. So we're going to be flooded. And REOs are not necessarily, fully distressed properties. There could be properties out there that are, the term turnkey. But they just fell into default and had either had to do a deed in lieu or went to foreclosure. There is going to be an absolute wave of properties coming here in the near future. We're not there yet, and hey, maybe renting a property and waiting out the storm might be a good option for you. If you're leaving town, um, something to consider is getting the plan together on that. What are other markets happening? I know, have a pretty good idea of as to what's happening here in Maryland, but hop on the phone with somebody and say, "Hey, I'm planning to move to California." Okay. Now you're dealing with two markets. You have to understand the market that you're dealing with here in Maryland on the selling side, and then going out to California, it's a brand new market. You have to do the same checklist, but now with California. So if you're planning on moving out of state, you need to allot enough time for yourself to put a good plan in place. And it's just it's tough right now. If you're trying to buy or you're trying to rent, I mean, this is a market where you need to have cash ready and you need to be able to be decisive because the person that's, hey, I'll get back to you, is not going to be able to get the house that they want in this market. Yeah, Sean, that was awesome. Getting your plan in place, and I think I would probably put that beyond financials. Understanding what you're going to do before you sell your house. Hey, I plan on moving down to Florida. Okay, well, what do I need to do in order to be able to move down to Florida? I need to research Florida first before I can even get into any of this stuff here in Maryland, and start to understand as to what's going on down there. Um, let's see. What's the inventory like in San Juan? I am totally unsure. Sean, what do we got?
Got somebody phoning in.
Phoning in. Here, bring him over. Bring him over. Let's see. Did you not join the TikTok?
It's Mr. Alex Van Brooklyn. That's what he's trying to do.
All right, guys. Pardon the interruption. Alex is coming live from Puerto Rico. Kind of figured he can hop on live on Facebook or Instagram, something like that. Um, you have him on the phone still? Got it. So Alex is down in Puerto Rico right now, and guess what he's doing? He is researching the market down there. He is looking to buy some. What is it, Sean? He's looking to buy some vacation rentals down there, which is absolutely. There it is. Awesome. So we have Gunny BB. Oh my gosh, and he's sweating. It's 50 degrees here in Maryland. What's the temperature over there? Awesome. Okay, so you're going through your checklist right now down in Puerto Rico. So you're going through your checklist down in Puerto Rico. What do I need to do? Who do I need to connect with down there? Oh, that was your comment. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think there's any properties out there that might be duplex? because with that condo, you'll get the security. Try to look for a place that's gated. You'll get the security. You'll get the amenities, stuff that you couldn't build or afford to build out there, probably.
That's right.
Right.
And then some of the
That's
considerations
awesome.
here, bigger than they are in Maryland, are the maintenance of the property. I don't want to deal with a property where I have to have landscaping and then I have to worry about the
Oh
landscaper,
gosh.
what the landscaper has or has not done. So if I have a condo association down here, I'm able to walk right through the guy. You got to excuse me for a minute, man, because we're doing something extremely, extremely important right now. We are ordering food.
Ordering food. All right, cool. Well, we'll get back to it. We are about to sign off here. We're going through the checklist right now. People should do when they're looking to sell their house. Um, while you're ordering your food, I'm just going to go over the bullet points. We talked about getting your plan in place. What happens when you're looking to sell your property? Getting your plan, and that's first. Hey, what am I going to do once I sell my house? Do that in advance and try to get that plan in place. Number two, we talked about financials, whether you're upside down or you're right side up, understanding your financial picture inside of your property can help dictate what you can sell the property for and what you might need to do. So yeah, man, we're covering it all. I hope you guys are enjoying your trip out there. Um, but yeah, we're here, we're crushing it, and I look forward to seeing what properties are some potential prospects down in Puerto Rico, man.
We'll see what we can come up with. We might have to change some of the processes inside of Victor Bravo because we might have to look at what it's going to take to start acquiring properties down here in Puerto Rico. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah. So I've been practicing my Spanish for that. So I learned today "Yo soy fiesta." So tell people down there that, and you should have a good time.
sure, that's it. That's all I will do. That will be my conversational Spanish down here. So, all right, you guys
Yeah,
have a great night. I just wanted to jump on here real quick. Thank you guys
awesome.
for holding it down there in Maryland. And I don't know if anybody on Facebook or Instagram or anybody else can see it, but this is just a TikTok thing. So anybody that can't see or hear me right now, I hope everybody has an amazing night. And I know you guys are going to do something great with the rest of this little talk you got out there. So you guys have a good night, man. And we'll talk to you soon.
Guys have any questions whatsoever, and once again, and we always say it, we may not be the solution for everyone, but at the end of the day, we genuinely are here to help. So if we could put you in touch with the right person, I had a guy reach out the other day. We've been talking to him about his house for the last 6 months, and we're weighing out the option for him as to what is he going to do as far as go forward with the construction on the house or just try to sell it as is. And he went down the road of trying to fix the house himself, and now he's getting himself into having to sue the roofing contractor that did his property because he has nothing but leaks, nothing but issues. It was improperly installed, and he's out $11,000. Okay. So, not saying this case for everybody, but these are some of the risks that you run when you're trying to do this, sell for top retail value. I mean, HGTV makes it look so easy. I can tell you, you know, I'm 27 years old. I got gray hair. Okay. This is not an easy business. Managing contractors, managing banks, managing different employees. It is a lot of work that goes into renovating a property and putting it back out there on the retail market. I mean, going through these checklists that we have, on multiple different properties every single month, it's a lot. And for somebody that does not have the experience in those situations, always good to know your numbers, have a plan in place before you do anything, and reach out to a market professional. So if we can help, feel free to give us a call. It's 443-341-1000. We'd love to talk. And stay tuned for next week. We're going to have an awesome Q&A session with a market professional. And we look forward